Many physicians think that applying to residency is a 1 + 1 = 2, but that's not the case. Follow along so you can see what you can do to improve your chances of getting into residency. What's up, guys? My name is Dr. Safo Asante. I'm the successful IMG. I'm successful because I matched into residency, and I'm here so that you guys can as well. I'm currently an urgent care doctor that works in the US, and I coach people on a regular basis to help them get into residency. And I make videos for free to help you guys become successful, not just residency, but life in general. So if you're interested in my stuff, subscribe to this channel, follow my Instagram, do all that stuff. Let's get on with the video. What's up, guys? I missed you guys. It's been so long. I haven't made a video in a few months, might even be a year. I'm not sure. But it's been a long time. So I got home from work like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I said, I have to make a video. If I don't sit down now and do it, I'm not going to do it. So here we are. Here's the video. We're going to talk about what people think in general about getting into residency and how that affects them in getting into residency. So, like I said, most people think getting into residency is 1 + 1 = 2, but that's not the case, right? Before we even get into that, let's talk about how difficult it is for IMGs to get into residency. Out of all the IMGs that apply, about 60% of them get into residency. That means that there are 40% of IMGs that don't make it into residency, which is insane, right? Now, some schools have a better record than others, but the Caribbean schools, at least the top 4 Caribbean schools, they have at least like 90s, or they claim they have above 90 success rate in getting into residency. It's a little bit easier for Caribbean students than other medical schools that are in other countries. Now, that's neither here nor there. You can still make it. You just have to make yourself better. And this difficulty to get into residency stems from the fact that people approach the match in one particular way, and that's 1 + 1 = 2. What's this 1 + 1 = 2 that I keep talking about? When you take 1 and you add another 1 and you get 2, it's a straightforward thing. It's not like algebra, it's not like calculus where you plug things into specific areas and then you get a result, right? It's not that tedious. It's very straightforward. Anybody can do it, and most kids, I wouldn't even start guessing that's how old they have to be before they can get it, but most kids are able to get it, and it's pretty straightforward. But residency is not like that. It's not just getting into residency, it's not that easy. And the problem with assuming that something is so straightforward that like you just have to do a few things and then you get into residency is that you put yourself at a disadvantage. Doctors or foreign medical doctors think that, hey, so long as I get my scores, I get good scores, so long as I do my rotations, so long as I finish medical school, I deserve to get a spot in residency, or at least I deserve to get an interview. Or what some of you, at least the ones of you that have been through the interview process or have been through the match process and didn't get interviews, you understand you can have great scores and still not make it into residency. You can have great scores and still not get any interviews to begin with. Or even if you get interviews, you might not make it due to whatever reason. That's because you approach it in a simple way. You just assume that you do this and you do that, you do this, and then that's it, and you get into residency. That's not the case. And then you have the people that think you need one magic bullet. You need to do one thing and it's going to get you in. The people that think that if you do research, you get it. The people that think that if you score 250s in your exams, you get in. People that think that if you say one particular thing during your interview, you get it. I had somebody question me on one of my forums, what can we do specifically? What can we specifically say to increase our chances of getting into residency? I said, there's not one thing. You have to just make sure that you do everything well. And therein lies the solution to the problem. Trying to get into residency is not a simple matter. It's an art form. There is a particular way that you can use to increase your chances of getting into residency. And when I say increase your chances of getting into residency, it's just increasing your chances to get into residency. It's not about 100%, but it increases the odds. And there's a particular method, and that's the method that I use to help my students get into residency. And I use that method to help people that have failed the exams multiple times, 4 times, applied 3-4 times, didn't get in, and then they came with me and I helped them focus on specific things, and then they got into residency. Us as doctors, we have a hard time taking in certain information because we're so used to relying on ourselves, especially going through medical school. We just studied harder and then we were able to make it through medical school and pass our exams. But being selected by residency programs is not as simple. Some of you find out, some of you already know. It's not as simple. You have to approach it in a specific way in order to increase your chances of getting into residency. And you got to see it as an art form, a method. Once you find that method and you exploit that method, you're able to get into residency. And what's the method? You're asking me probably right now. It's pretty straightforward. Just do everything right. Keep it simple, do everything right. Do your interviews well, write your application well, network well, ERAS application well, your personal statement well. Everything that you're doing, do it well. And if you don't know how to do those things well, find somebody that knows how to do them well. What I've noticed is if you don't get in the first time you apply, you get depressed. Happened to me. Second time you apply, get even more depressed. Third time you apply and you don't get in, your mind starts to play tricks on you and you start thinking about giving up. People around you are already asking you, why don't you try something else? Why are you still going on? Why don't you give up? It's very tough to be in that situation. So you don't want to get to that position where you're about to give up. In order to make sure you don't get to that stage, you want to make sure that you pick the best method. And if you don't know that method, you find somebody that knows a method for you to get into residency. Now, I've been helping my people get into residency. So if you are interested in getting into residency and you need help with interviews and so on, shoot me a message. My email address is theirsuccessfulimg@gmail.com, theirsuccessfulimg@gmail.com. For people that want to just do it on their own, that's fine, you can do it on your own, but you got to remember you're competing against people that are getting help. And the reason why that's important is there are not enough spots for everyone. When you get outwitted or beaten by those people, then you don't even get an interview. If you don't get an interview, you don't even get a spot. So do the best you can. Find somebody that knows what they're doing. If you don't have anybody else, come to me. Actually, forget all those people. Just come to me. Dr. Safwa Asante out.